That's why he planned to drink to his heart's content tonight. They talk about their struggles and their hopes for the future of the empire. Come to think of it, he never thought he'd be so close to Minutes. He was a good soldier, but he never would have let him in. Now he is a dear friend. And together they are the best supporters of His Majesty. They drank more drinks, and he became drunk enough. Then Minutes came in with the topic. So, changing the subject, how does it feel to have power over most people? I think about that question again. And then I answer. It's a hollow feeling. Like I've lost sight of my goal. Then you don't need this anymore, do you? With that, Minutes held out an envelope to me. I wonder if there was a stack of papers in it. It had some kind of thickness. What is this? Don't open it here. Minutes slurred his words and paused to gulp down his glass. Then he put down his empty glass and stood up. Hey, are you going home? Oh, that's the report I had you look at years ago, just to give me a bargaining chip against you. I don't need it anymore, and I'll do it. There was something that was bothering me, so I'm letting you take a look at it. I'm a little surprised myself, so you might even be happier not knowing. If you're not interested in your past, don't read it, and burn it. There was no further explanation for Minutes. He just waved his hand and left without answering my questions, not even looking back. I was left alone, but I didn't feel like drinking anymore. I was more interested in what Minutes had to say. There was no doubt that this material was about me. And it was my weakness. I don't have a family. I'm not saying that I wasn't dirty, but I was never part of any wrongdoing that merited punishment. I'm sure Minutes knew that too. All I can think of is that it involved the woman who was my wife. Is it my past? Come to think of it, my vengeance wasn't complete. It would be pretty easy for me to destroy the Count or anyone else. That's why I was so proud that I could do it at any time, and I let my revenge go unchecked. Well, maybe it's a good idea to face the past to bring closure here. I muttered to myself and left the restaurant. I returned to my mansion in the imperial capital and went into my room. I took the material from the envelope Minutes gave me and read it. Ridiculous. What was written there was so shocking that I couldn't help but mutter to myself. When I saw the description Count Baldev, I realized I had forgotten the name of the object of my revenge. That's fine, but it was hard to believe what happens next. The Count Baldev is said to have put together a sect of local aristocrats. But it was at a level easy to ignore. Not to mention the name of the Baron with the woman who was my ex-wife, all of the lower aristocrats, such as the Viscount and the Baron, follow. If the scale was large enough, they would be noticeable, but with a force of less than 10, they were probably overlooked. However, there was a description that I could not overlook. It's a noble family who follows, but there is a high possibility that the reign has been hijacked. Right. What does that mean? I rushed to read the rest of the report. The houses that followed were said to have had honorable men in their families. They didn't care about dealing with black marketers, and they ruled their lands legitimately. That's why it was so easy to push him into a corner. It appears that Baldev has been saddled with debts by the hired traders, and is being made to do their bidding. That was stated in the report. My mind was racing with information. If this is true, then I can't forgive Count Baldev. No, it's more than that. Mamiya. I yelled to myself. About me, my wife might really. When it occurred to me, I couldn't sit still any longer. I hurriedly headed for the door. Hey sir. Are you going out this late? I've got to go. Get my personal guard up on the airfield. Also, tell your intelligence officer to send his men there as well. Right away. My head butler is a capable man. He could tell from my mood that this was no ordinary situation. He didn't ask any further questions, but carried out my orders quickly. We solidified the evidence during the night. The report was accurate, and there was no excuse for it. Only one person screamed and refused to admit the reality. You're a dead man. You? Who do you think I am? I'm Baldev. With what authority do you have to arrest me, one of the 8 princes who unite the provincial lords? The foolish man had refused to admit his guilt in this case. Well, there is certainly a reason for Baldev to scream. Because in our empire, just because they are aristocrats, they have non-arrest privileges. A noble can only be arrested if the emperor has issued a warrant for his arrest. However, all imperial knights of the imperial guardians are eligible, as are certain members of the intelligence community. Which means, Count Baldev, the charges against you have been confirmed. The victims have testified, and I hope you will understand that there is no longer any excuse for this. Of course, I have the right to arrest him based on what the Information Bureau staff brought. I know how important it is to arrest a highborn count. I'd like to execute him myself, but I'm afraid that would be above my pay grade. If I put my hand down, I could kill him without causing much pain. I can't bring myself to show that kind of mercy to this man. Don't be a fool. What authority do you have? Shut up, Baldev. Have you forgotten my face? I stared Balda squarely in the eyes so he could see my left eye patch. You're not really His Excellency Calgurio, are you? You know me. Of course. Your exploits have been passed down throughout the Empire. I hear you were narrowly defeated by the filthy monster nation, but I believe that your excellency will surely be able to make up for it. This man is misunderstanding everything. His fate would be even worse if Tensura Dono could hear what he has to say. If I tell her. No, I'm not going to tell her. Let's not get angry and get too involved. I don't like the way you talk about me. I suppose you laughed at me being kicked out of the baronial household. It's a misunderstanding. I haven't even explained to him yet, and that statement was already an admission of guilt. Don't speak. I'll let the Imperial High Council decide your fate, so be prepared for that. Unlike me, the torture officers are not so kind. I told him without changing my expression. Baldav paled and shouted. Wait. Please wait. Calgurio Dono. I apologize. I apologize and admit my sins. Take him away. On my signal, the knights take Baldav away. Baldav's laxity is appalling. The Imperial High Council is not an institution to clarify the crimes. It is designed to trap and deprive political enemies of their positions. That's why it doesn't matter whether he pleads guilty or not. The torturers don't ask for the testimony of the guilty. They make a living depriving them of their dignity and subjugating them. At best, you'll suffer and feel the resentment of the victims, including myself. I whispered softly to Baldav's back, which was now quite small. After sending the knights back in the airship, I took my personal magic motorcycle, or bike, to a small town in the outskirts. After a short ride, I saw a familiar sight before my eyes. Beyond the hill, I saw a mansion that had been left intact. I used to think it was big, but now it seems quite small. It was less than half the size of my mansion in the imperial capital. But still, it was an important place to me. It's been a long time. It's like this place hasn't changed at all. I don't know why I said that. I guess I'm just nervous. After all, the woman I was about to meet was the one who abandoned me. No, it's not. I already knew that it was a mistake. All I need is courage. It was late afternoon. I remember my ex-wife relaxing in the front yard at this hour. I scolded myself and rang the doorbell of the house. Yes, who is it? A familiar voice. It was the voice of the house's assistant butler, who was about 10 years older than me. It's Calgurio. I didn't plan on coming back, but I've got a matter of importance to attend to. I'm sorry, but Mamiya, do you think you could send for Mrs. Heath? There was a pause for breath. After a beat, there was a reply saying yes, sir. I was ushered into the parlor and waited for Mamiya to arrive. All that was left to do was tell her what I really thought before that man came back. That man is Baroness Heath, the man who drove me out and took over the Heath household. And now he's in the next town over, where he's supposed to be staying at his cousin's beck and call. Vikanzuk. The reason I know this is because I made the arrangements. Baldav's people had their knights arrest him last night. I told him to let Vikanzuk see the opportunity. Of course, it was on purpose. Since we've already investigated that Vikanzuk is Nest's superior, I thought he would try to contact me once he heard about Baldav's arrest and the disquieting situation. I knew that Nest was moving, just as I had hoped. It would take at least half a day to fly a horse to and from here to the next town and back. I heard he left early in the morning, so he shouldn't be back until later in the evening. That's why I have to finish this before then. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Your Excellency Calgurio. Is it okay to say that it's been a long time? I haven't heard Mamiya's voice in a long time, and my heart flutters. I sit up and lock eyes with her. There's no need for honorifics between you and me. How are you? Mamiya was thin. She had makeup on, but it didn't disguise the white that was starting to bleed into her hair. I realized that she didn't have the money to spend on beauty. It was definitely an unexpected visit, but still, as a noblewoman, I think it's normal for noblewomen to pay more attention to her appearance. Although to me, Mamiya is Mamiya, no matter what she looks like. It was reported that Ness was not valued because of its spending habits. That was irresistibly annoying. Such a waste of words. I'm so relieved to hear that His Excellency Calgurio is looking well. Mamiya's attitude remains stiff. She doesn't know why I'm here, and is nervous. Sure enough. So, is the purpose of your visit today to punish me? It is a disposition to say such a thing. What do you mean? My husband left in the morning, in a hurry. I knew he was up to no good, so you have proof of the wrongdoing, don't you? I am the woman who betrayed you. I can't think of any reason for you to be grateful to me alone. Mamiya's eyes looked tired and hopeless as she said this. It's been 20 years since we parted. I had been through a lot, and so had Mamiya. I don't know if I'm qualified to hear it, but I still have to resolve the misunderstanding. There is a reason you were my wife. And that love is as strong now as it was back then. Joking. It's not a joke. Mamiya's eyes wavered as I assured her. What do you mean, I'm a stupid woman? I'm no better than a dog and no better than a person who doesn't deserve to be remembered by you. Because I've committed an unforgivable, mortal sin. I committed an irrevocable sin against you. At a loss for words, tears fell from Mamiya's eyes. She had acted stoutly, but her words reminded her of her crimes. Now I remember. How could I have forgotten the most important things and resented Mamiya? My father-in-law, who had been a baron, was a fine man and my esteemed master. What a fool I had been, even though he entrusted me with his precious daughter. You're not guilty of anything. I was a fool. I didn't even notice that man's trickery, and I hurt when I swore to protect. I said slowly, as if to remind myself. When Mamiya heard that, she looked at me in surprise. Now she's listening to me. I took this opportunity to say more. I don't know why I didn't believe in you, it's such a shame. I understand the circumstances of the Heath family. Will you believe me again? What are you talking about? Again, I'm not someone who deserves it. Do you not have the right to punish us? I'm the one who doesn't have the right. It's my fault for abandoning you. It's ended up like this, even though I swore to be the knight to protect you. So, give me another chance. With that wish, I kept staring at Mamiya, hoping that she would give me another chance. Can I trust you? Mamiya's tears wouldn't stop. I scooped them up with my fingers and then nodded vigorously. I will never abandon you again. I accepted Mamiya gently as she jumped into my chest and swore from the bottom of my heart.